Hey guys, we actually ventured up to Fort Lauderdale to do another boat tour for y'all. We are going to be touring an Abeking Rasmussen steel boat that's almost 100 years old, so we're really curious about what it looks like.
We're really excited to go see this boat, but before we do that, I wanted to quickly do a shameless plug for my new YouTube channel called Learning the Reef. Now, it's about reef keeping in saltwater aquariums, completely not related to sailing at all, but over the course of the summer, we're gonna have a little bit more free time. I'm getting back into the saltwater aquarium hobby, and I'm starting up a 10-gallon nano reef tank for zoanthids only. So if that sounds interesting to you, the link for Learning the Reef is gonna be in the description below. There's already one video up. There's gonna be more to come, so I'd appreciate it if you go and subscribe to that channel.
So enough of that, let's go ahead and tour this boat.
Let's go. So that's the main hatch right there. It's in a different location than you might expect. So we're gonna start right here. We're gonna go forward and then come back around to it.
So it's kind of like a midship hatch, which is interesting, or companionway. We've got butterfly hatches.
Lots of butterfly hatches.
Yes, all running down the center, which is kind of nice. And then this is actually a hatch too that goes down into the V-berth area. I think this is super cool. It's original to the boat. It still has the yard name on it.
That is the coolest windlass I've ever seen. Talk about grinding.
And I bet it's like super heavy duty. It could lift anything, it looks like.
Yeah. That chain's really, really thick too. Heavy duty stainless, that's like, what, 1.5 inches? We've got two, looks like 2 forestays, 2 head sails, hank on. Got your anchor roller right there. So it looks like you can attach a staysail right there if you needed to.
I don't know, would you still call these cleats when they're like that size?
Yeah, they're just big cleats.
Yeah. There's a lot of prisms that allow for light down below. This one's kind of different looking though. I haven't seen one like that before.
It's like a little skylight.
Yeah, kind of like a skylight. It has some forward-facing port lights and then more prisms.
I always like those little forward-facing port lights on boats like this. You get organization for your lines. There's your main mast, mainsail. Triple spreaders. How many butterfly hatches are there?
Well, technically that's like a double. So do you count that twice?
Sure.
Okay, so 1, 2. This one's a single, but it's bigger. 3 and 4.
3 or 4 butterfly hatches. Very, very cool.
This was really interesting. It has a running backstay that's unlike any we've seen before.
Got a giant block right there. And then another giant deck block right there, running to like some sort of lever to tighten your running backstay. And that's on both sides of the boat, which is really cool.
The rods. It has some old school wooden blocks still, which is cool. I always think that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, plenty of ventilation it seems like.
Yes.
Which is necessary for a steel boat.
So this is the cockpit, and it has a worm. I have a hard time saying that word. Worm gear?
Worm gear.
Worm gear. I don't know why is that coming out right.
Say worm.
Worm.
Say gear.
Gear.
Say worm gear.
Worm gear.
There you go.
There we go. All right, so it has a worm gear for the helm, which is awesome. Jordan actually really likes this.
So this is that worm gear. That's what it looks like down below. That's a lot more hefty and heavy duty than, you know, your typical cable steering system.
Yeah. So this is the cockpit area. You've got your engine, instruments here, throttle. I believe there's engine access here too.
That just goes back. This boat has higher overhangs, so I believe this goes back and is access to that So I believe it's just storage. And then you've got storage on the other side as well, and this looks like it's probably similar.
So 2, 4, 6, 7, but you've also got 2 forward of the rods, 8, 9.
9 winches, then you got levers for these running backstays. Then you got, it looks like 2 more winches on that mast there, so 11 winches and 2 levers.
There's also space under this aft deck area that you could access and put other equipment in.
It's harder to get to though because that's your access.
Yeah.
And then you've got your boomkin right here.
Engine access right in front of the mizzen mast. Ooh, this is heavier than I anticipated.
So you would expect, actually I expected this to be the main hatch, but it actually goes down to the engine, which is relatively new. There's your engine area.
This is the double butterfly I was talking about, so you can open just one side or the other or both if you wanted. And then back to the companionway. Shall we go in?
Let's do it. Looking down the companionway steps and looking forward.
So this boat is 55 foot on deck and it has a 12-foot beam. So boats of this vintage of this size were built for speed. So it has definitely a lot of cool characteristics. I love houses that were built around this time because they have a lot of character, and I would say this boat also has a lot of character. So when you come into the Salon area, if you look around, you'll see like these old school glass on the doors, the cool like cross beams and butterfly hatch. It just has a lot of character, I think.
It's just everywhere there's character. Saying this is a really cool old boat doesn't do this justice, because it's more than that.
I mean, it's almost 100 years old. Like, very interesting. And the floor has held up remarkably well. The cabin sole.
Yeah, the cabin sole's in good shape.
I don't know if maybe that was replaced at some point because it looks really nice. All right, so obviously you have the settees in here. There's kind of the U shape, and then this one, which could basically be used as like a berth, I would say, right?
Yep. Yeah, there's got a single berth here, and then this can probably be converted into some kind of double berth.
Yeah.
Nice big berth.
Going forward now, so up here we have the galley area. You've got those forward-facing port lights that we looked at outside. Your sink.
Got some storage up there.
Also storage on this side too. This is interesting. I don't know if I can open it. There.
Definitely a different galley area than we've seen on a lot of boats.
Yes. Your mast
Yep.
is keel stepped, it looks like, right?
Yep.
Probably in Jordan's way now, but this is the V-berth. So it's actually got a split setup forward of this. It's really cool the way they did the anchor locker. So I'm going to let Jordan show you that.
So you definitely have to crouch to get into this forward area. But up here, this is pretty cool. You have a watertight crash bulkhead. And this is like old school like ship. Oh, it's open. It's to the right. That's weird. Usually righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But, I mean, this is like the cool, nautical, like, just crazy door. I mean, this is solid steel. I feel like it's something you'd see on the Titanic. So we're going aft back into the main salon. If you want to take us aft of this, Randy?
Sure. All right, so this is the companionway that we came down. And to the port side, we have the nav station and electric controls. Storage.
Got some storage right there.
Cedar lined.
So this is supposed to be a hanging locker.
Okay. Now this I thought was really neat, and I like the layout considering the space. So remember that you have the companionway stairs for this if you want to kind of show them where we're oriented.
Companionway stairs right after that.
So your head is tucked under those stairs. I thought that was pretty clever. And it's actually a standing shower area here. So it's got pretty good room, I would say. I was surprised by this. And an awesome like vanity setup for the sink in here. So I'll let you go in there.
Yeah, it's actually a very roomy
Yeah.
head. Considering this boat, I mean, it is pretty narrow for its length, so they definitely used the space for the head pretty well. And then I guess this is, no, you got a mirror down there, but this is almost like a mirror right here too. As you can see me. And the one thing I want to say is that the woodwork, I mean, given this boat being so old, the woodwork does look very good.
There's a few places that need a little love, but it's very good overall. This, I don't know what to call this room. It definitely could be like an aft berth here.
Yeah.
I don't know that that was ever designed to be a berth. It probably was at one point, but this owner is using it more as like a tool area.
Yeah. I think if I had to guess, you probably had a single berth there and a single berth there, and this was kind of like a captain's quarters or crew quarters or something like that.
But you do have access to that head through here as well. You have your own butterfly hatch in here. The engine is right behind us. This piece of wood is so nice still.
Yeah, you want to talk about the quality of the woodwork and some of these pieces here. I mean, this is still very, very
And just like the
good
finish work. Look at this piece.
Yeah, and look, you can see us
Yes.
in the wood. Like, you can clearly see, like, that we don't even need a mirror in here because we have wood. So then you have engine access under here. And there's your engine. And that's pretty good engine access.
And I've got to say, like, the bilge area is pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, the paint looks good. Just popping up some of the floorboards, because I'm not going to look at all of them, but
Curious.
I am always just a little curious. So there's your keel down there. There's your bilge. You got some wiring down there.
Yeah, we're right under the nav station here.
Alright guys, so as always at the end of these tours, I'm going to do a continuous walkthrough of below the deck from bow to stern. So I am in the V-berth now. There's that Titanic-esque watertight bulkhead. Looking aft, we've got our galley area. There's that galley area. Looking aft, we've got our salon. Randy's hanging out.
With the seahorses.
With the seahorses. There's our other berth right there. Settee. Looking aft, we've got our nav station to port. Main companionway to starboard. Looking aft, hanging locker to port. Head to starboard. Big head. And then we've got this aft cabin back here. Engine access. The wooden mirror. Then we've got access to that head right there. Looking forward. So what did you think about that, Randy?
It was different than anything we've looked at before. Even the layout was pretty unique. There's like good and bad things about it. It's interesting for a liveaboard, particularly in the galley. I thought the galley was pretty limited, but then the head size was awesome. So it's a different kind of boat for sure.
I mean, it shows its age. It's almost 100 years old. You know, it's very close to being 100 years old. One of the unique things about this boat is that it is a steel boat, but it's also encapsulated with fiberglass. So it's steel and fiberglass. And I don't really know much about that composition.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before. So if you guys have any information on that or know anything about steel and fiberglass in the
like pros and cons, let us know.
Definitely leave a comment below if you know anything. And yeah, I'd definitely like to hear about that construction. It seems like it'd be pretty heavy duty, like pretty strong. And you know, for a 55-foot boat, it's got a narrow beam, so it is a smaller boat. It's got larger overhangs, so the interior volume is not going to be like that of a 55-foot boat from today, or even, you know, from 30 years ago. Like, it's a lot has changed since when this boat was built, but this boat is awesome. But it would take a very specific owner to basically, you know, purchase this.
We're putting the broker's information in the video description below, as well as the asking price. We do that so we can update that information if it ever needs to change.
Also, I did speak with the owner, and he's a really cool guy. He's a veteran. He actually helps vets find jobs in maritime industries. He also teaches vets to sail. He wants to help with troubled youth as well. Like, so he wants to do some nonprofit stuff. So he's open to potential ideas for someone to come in and potentially provide the funding to basically
revamp this boat and make it something where they could teach underprivileged youth how to sail, or take veterans out and teach them how to sail to give them another outlet, things like that.
Yeah, so it would be a good cause. So there's a couple options. It is for sale, but the owner is also open to options like that as well. But yeah, I mean, the boat's awesome, and I think it would be a really cool boat for that too, because what's cooler than learning to sail on a 100-year-old boat, you know, out here in Fort Lauderdale? I mean, that's a pretty cool thing. So,
as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to follow along with our journey, and the notification bell if you want to know each and every time we upload a video.
see you guys.
Bye.
I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here.